Hello everyone, Tom here. Thought I would share with you this video of a place that I painted here in one of the remote valleys of Utah. This is a place called Rush Valley. The time I painted this, I painted it on location, so the video you'll be watching is on plein air, but here we're looking at a photograph of the scene that I took. You can see the Stansbury Mountains in the distance there. They reach up to as high as 11,000 feet. They're still snow-capped in March, and we're looking west-northwest, and Rush Valley is in the middle of there. And then in the foreground, especially where I'm standing, is up on a little ridge of the foothills of the Tintic mountain range, and it looks over the Rush Valley. So that's a scene I'm going to paint for you in this video. So here we go. Whoops. I should kill that sound so I can narrate. Okay, so I began with just a simple line sketch, just blocking out the major elements, getting them established so I can get some sense of likeness or a sense of the place. So as you can see, I like to use a one of those 0.5 millimeter lens or lead pencils, and I like to draw with them because, well, you never have to sharpen your lead. You never have to sharpen that pencil. So I'm capturing angles and measuring proportions as I go along, both mechanically with my pencil or with my fingers, or just by observation, judgment and observation. So all of those elements of drawing come into play. So I think I pretty well got the drawing done here. Now I'm just going to jump right into the watercolor itself. Had to use the brim of my hat as shade for both taking the video and seeing my painting while I was working. I often tip my paper upside down when I paint the sky, and that way I can not worry about whether I go over my edges that I've tried to establish in such ways that it's going to be too egregious. My philosophy, my method for working with watercolor is light to dark, top to bottom, back to front, and general to specific. So here, those are rules, but I break them all the time. So you need to understand that they're kind of like pirate rules. But as I am laying in the colors, I'm thinking about laying in the distant elements first and then coming forward in the picture plane. Helps to give a sense of layering, a sense of distance, I think. When I do that, it's a good way to go. So here, instead of pre-wetting the paper for my sky, I just started laying down wet paint on dry paper, and then modifying with water or other colors after that. My experience has been that as I paint the sky, I basically figure I've got one shot at it, and I try to just do it in one effort. That way, I think that I think it's the most fresh looking, it's the least labored looking, and I think it has that feel of the openness and airiness of the sky that it needs. Actually, for me, probably the more challenging of the types of skies that I often paint are the clear blue skies, because of the graded wash that the artist is trying to establish. And then as you're doing that, you have to also keep that blue from blotching on you like it can sometimes do. It's one of those pigments that tends to do that, kind of like the cadmium reds can. So I'm thinking very much about positive, negative space here. And the positive space is the white of the snow-capped mountains, and the all of the exposed elements of the mountains and their foothills. That's the negative space. So in order to define that positive space, I'm painting the negative space to help establish that relationship. I love remote places. I love nature. I'm a bit of a desert rat. And in Utah, we have our high altitude deserts of the Great Basin and portions of the red deserts of the Southwest. And I really enjoy getting out there and painting those. So I'm definitely in my bliss as I'm out here. I've very much found that as I paint on location or on plein air, I it tends to loosen me up. I'm not so hung up on detail as I am on capturing values and textures and relationships that I think will work for the sake of the scene, for the sake of the painting. That's why I enjoy working plein air as much as I do. It's something that has become all the rage here in the United States. A lot of competitions and events over plein air painting. I participate in precious few competitions. I don't really enjoy them. I'm much more just about the experience and just the joy of being out there and doing the work. Here in Utah, we have the Spring City Plein Air event, and that's one that I will definitely do every year because of the connection with other people, the camaraderie, the the beauty of that community down there. It's just a really great place to be. We have a great event in Midway as well that many artists join up with and enjoy doing. So right now, what I have are just the kind of the lights and darks, not too much in the way of shadows yet, or cast shadows. I haven't put in anything that really indicates much in the way of shadows. These are just the patterns of exposed earth and snow-covered mountain. Starting to establish the flat of the valley. And those colors and tones out there. So drawing that line there reminded me that many times I have people say to me, so great that you're an artist. I could never be an artist. I can't even draw a straight line. Well, that's not a very good excuse of me because artists too grab the ruler for a straight line. And so it's not about straight lines. It's about a passion and a love for this kind of activity and working with these materials, these supplies that we work so hard to get, and bringing them together and making something that is really crafted by our own hands, or created out of our minds, or orchestrated as a result of observation and the abstract marks that we make to communicate a sense of the form, the texture, and the spirit of the place or the thing. Person, place, or thing. I've come to realize really that whatever I paint, it's some form of a noun. Person, place, or thing. So these are the beginnings of shadows across the landscape, not only across the valley floor, but up on the mountainside there as well. Allowing those edges to be lost and found, hard or soft, according to just what I'm feeling in the moment. Okay, so we are coming up on the end of the first segment of the video illustrating how I painted this. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next segment.